American Timelines is a member of the Queen City Podcast Network. Find out more at queencitypodcastnetwork.com.
So now I'm obsessed with time. Come on, tell me about the time. Had it all in my hand tonight. Had the time of my life. When the words all come down like blues on Tuesdays come down. Throw it all away. Throw it all away.
Welcome to another episode of American Timelines. I'm Amy, and that's Joe.
And this is a very special episode.
No, it's not a
of
very
Hanging
special.
with Mr. Cooper.
No, this is American Timelines, and
It's not a special
a
episode.
history for jerks.
This is episode 190 something.
Oh my God,
Did you know that?
190 something.
This is
That's crazy.
197.
Oh,
I thought we already did 198 though.
all right. Who cares?
Anyway, this is 197. This is episode 197 of American Timelines. We're almost at 200. We're going to hit that mark pretty soon.
What are we going to do for 200? We should do it on shrooms.
Oh, I was thinking we should do it nude.
I think we should
A
shroom
live nude
podcast.
A live nude show on shrooms.
I don't
Nobody
think
has to know we're
I don't think
nude.
we have to be nude. I think so just on shrooms would be good.
I'll be nude and you be on shrooms.
I want to see you on shrooms.
No. You're on shrooms and I'll be nude.
I don't think.
I've done shrooms twice and nothing happened. It was just like
You didn't have good ones.
they tasted like feces.
No, I can
feces.
make it so it don't taste like anything.
How do you make it? You can't just
Make it a tea.
Where
Make
do
it
you
in a
get
tea.
the shrooms from?
That's my personal information.
Yes, and I like the plausible deniability of you not telling me
Yeah.
any of this stuff. In fact, I prefer you just drug me and not tell me.
Oh, I should. All right.
Um,
Moving on. We are in 1957.
Yes, we're in
and
September.
Talking about September and October.
In October of 1957. Thank you
Yes.
to those who have been with us all along. I can't imagine there's many of you left, but there are people listening, and we're also approaching, I don't know if you know this, we're approaching 200 episodes. We're approaching 50,000 downloads.
Nice.
Yeah.
Most of them were in the listen to one and then
Well,
fuck this.
40
Turned it off.
48,000 are just me downloading it myself.
Yeah, probably.
No, I don't know. I don't know why you're listening, and I don't care why you're listening, but thank you for listening. You keep us going, you, the listener.
Well, and today I have a very twisty-turny tale that I had never heard of.
Really?
So it was kind of fun to research because I was like, wow, this is
Well, I'm excited to
a
hear
fun
you tell
story.
it. Hopefully you'll tell it with some oomph.
I'll try.
Well,
we'll see.
I
might fall asleep.
Well, I don't have a whole lot of stuff. I mean, I have a lot of stuff, but nothing. I don't think I went into depth on much because
All right, let's move on.
I actually have no memory of doing any research, so who knows what's going to happen.
All right.
Let's start with September 1st of 1957, shall we?
All right.
Do you remember me ever mentioning a rock star by the name of Elvis Presley?
Yes.
Ever hear of him?
Mm-hmm.
Well, on September 1st, 1957, he asked his audience at a Seattle concert to please rise for the national anthem.
Uh-huh.
He picked up his guitar, leaned in, shook his hips, and began singing, "You ain't nothing but a hound dog." And the crowd went wild. He didn't even sing the national anthem. He faked him out.
Oh, so I told him to stand up, sing for the national anthem, and then he started playing Hound Dog?
Yes.
Oh.
And I'm not sure why I know that or why I have that on my notes.
Well, it was a big switcheroo on him.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, he switched to Roo. I tried to find a recording of it, and I failed.
I wonder if people sat down when they realized it wasn't the...
No, they went nuts because that was the biggest song ever. And
Oh,
everybody
they were
loved
so
it.
excited.
They were at an Elvis concert. So.
Oh, so it was like kids and
yeah.
stuff. It
no,
wasn't-
you're not going
yeah.
to. You're at a concert in
Yeah.
Seattle. You're not going to be like, oh, no, that wasn't the national anthem. I'm sitting down.
I know, that's true.
And and now we got some sad stuff to talk about.
Boy.
Some like downer news because we're still in 1957. We're still...
Oh, boy.
The civil rights movement
Yeah.
hasn't begun yet, so it's a lot of anger and hatred. So,
Unlike now.
yeah, I mean, it's a lot more.
Yeah.
According to the National Museum of African American History and Culture, on September 4th, 1957, the governor of Arkansas, Governor Orville Faubus,
Mm-hmm.
called out the National Guard to prevent 9 black students from entering Little Rock Central High School. He didn't want them, even though
the law said that they...
Brown versus Board of Education was 1954, 3 years ago, and this was supposed to be the end of segregation, but the gears of change grind slowly, my friend.
So did they go? The National Guard go?
So on September 4th, the Guard came to stop them. These 9 teens would become symbols, much like the landmark decision we know is Brown versus Board. The Little Rock 9 is the 9 teens came to be known. Everybody knows that. They were to be the first African-American students to enter Little Rock Central High School. 3 years earlier, following the Supreme Court ruling, the Little Rock School Board pledged to voluntarily desegregated schools. But this idea was explosive for the community, and like much of the South, it was fraught with anger and bitterness, and everybody was all upset. And so here we are on September 2nd, I guess, which was the night prior to their first day was supposed to be September 3rd. So on September 2nd, the night prior to the first day, Arkansas Governor Orville Faubus ordered the state's National Guard to block their entrance, and he said it was for the safety of the students. And then on September 4th, just 24 hours after the judge ordered the Little Rock 9, the judge ordered the Little Rock 9 to be attending Central High immediately. A belligerent mob, along with the National Guard, again prevented the teens from entering the school on the 4th. So first 2 days, they're just prevented by an angry mob and a National Guard. And there's more on that to come. But sprinkled in here on September 5th of 1957, On the Road by Jack Kerouac was published by Viking Press in New York.
Yes.
Just kind of gives you a little perspective of what's happening in the world.
Right.
Like this is the time we're living in. September 6th, Elvis recorded White Christmas, Silent Night, and Here Comes Santa Claus, just a few days after his national anthem thing. And then on September 9th, 1957, Nashville, let's jump over to Nashville, which has its own issues with desegregation. They have a new elementary school called the Hattie Cotton Elementary School at this time, and it was dynamited.
Oh, no.
Hattie Cotton became...
With kids in it?
Well, no. But Hattie Cotton became an integrated school in 1957, following the Brown v. Board thing, which set in motion the integration of American schools. After a court order in January, Nashville adopted what became known as the Nashville Plan in the fall. The plan was to begin with integration at 6 city elementary schools: Bailey, Buena Vista, Fair, Glen, Hattie Cotton, and Jones. And they were to integrate 1 grade level per year is what they were going to do. That process was to begin September 9th, 1957, when 19 black 6-year-olds attempted to attend the first day of school. 4 were denied for administrative reasons, whatever those were.
Yeah, whatever they could make up and pull out of their asshole.
We're talking about 6-year-olds here, people.
Oh, my God.
So Hattie Cotton admitted 1 black student, a 6-year-old black girl. And following the first day of school, dynamite exploded just after midnight, early on September 10th, 1957, rocking the neighborhood. The school reopened 9 days later, and repairs followed in 1958. So in the early 1990s, the original building was torn down and construction of a new building began. Wait, nobody cares about that. I don't know why that's in there. But the 1957 bombing tore down walls, knocked out every window in the modern 1-story structure, and caused at least $71,000 in damage, which is equivalent to $531,000 today. It damaged the library, the classrooms, interior walls, and lockers. The attack triggered a response from local civic leaders and members of the Nashville student movement. Nashville Police Chief Douglas E. Haas said that the incident has gone beyond a matter of integration. These people have ignored the laws, and they have shown no regard for you, meaning whites, or any citizen. These people meaning the segregationists. So Reverend Kelly Miller Smith and Reverend Will Campbell held a community meeting that showed, quote, the bombing had touched off all the stored-up rage in the black community. Speaker after speaker got up and denounced the bombing and demanded some kind of reprisal. There was talk of guns and retaliation for most of the evening. Smith let the meeting go on without challenging the speakers. It was as if he knew they had to just let their rage vent itself. And then Smith eventually spoke. He said, we can go forward as planned and try to show them the right way. Hattie Cotton reopened 9 days later without the 6-year-old girl, whose mother transferred her to the all-black Head Elementary School in North Nashville. Despite several weeks of investigation and a cash reward for information and the detaining of at least 6 suspects, no one was ever charged in the school bombing. Nationally known segregationist John Casper was questioned but never charged. He was described by police as playing a role in securing a cache of dynamite 2 days before the bombing in Hattie Cotton. So, but later, Casper was convicted in November 1958, but not for this, but for inciting a riot on the first day of school in Nashville in 1958. So that guy, remember we've talked about that guy before, John Casper. I think you even mentioned him once.
Yeah.
Just a racist piece of shit asshole.
Garbage.
Yeah,
People.
so it didn't go easy.
Yeah.
You know?
God.
Yeah, that's our
Those poor
uncomfortable
children.
past.
Those poor little kids.
6-year-olds. Come on. Those poor kids don't
I mean, I just...
even have any idea what's going on, you know?
No. And they're people. Like, that's what I don't understand, you know?
Well, they just get so dehumanized on purpose. Like, they've been dehumanized over years and years and years.
And it's people that don't have any exposure.
Yep.
Or they don't... I don't know. Like, I think of my students and my students of color.
Yeah.
And I love them almost like they're my own children.
I feel like you love them more than your own children.
Oh, my God. That's a horrible thing to say.
Our poor kids. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, my God.
Oh, our kids are older, gangly, and weird now.
Yeah, these kids are like
These kids
kindergarten
are
and
adorable. Like, your
to
kids
second
are
grade.
adorable, and they hug you all day long. And
They do. They pile on me all day.
You hug them. And
Yeah.
which is probably
They're
not
so sweet
appropriate.
kids. But,
Anyway.
But it's like they're I don't know. I don't understand how
Well, it's
people
good
can
that
look
you-
at these
it's
little
good that you
children and
can't fathom it because
I can fathom it. I
I
can.
mean, you can fathom it. but
Yes. I can fathom it.
It's good that you can't
I just complain about it because
make yourself do it.
white people are so awful a lot of the time. It seems like.
Yeah, we're talking to you, white person who's listening to this in your Prius.
Yeah, really?
Just kidding. You're not bad.
No.
Just others are.
No.
And we got a
Just
long way to go.
racist
We got a
ones.
long way to
Talking about
racist
racist
people.
ones.
We're talking about you racist people.
We have
that
to
are
be
listening
sad
to
about
this.
that.
That's true. We don't have to apologize
Who's that?
to the racist, but hopefully racist. I'm pretty sure
Racists wouldn't listen to this.
would have turned this off a while ago.
I think so. I think you're
Like,
probably
fuck
right
these
on with
guys.
that.
And they're probably bombing our mailbox soon.
Mm-hmm.
September 9th, 1957, President Eisenhower. I said Eisenhower. President Eisenhower signed.
Have another one.
I need to have a beer. That reminds me, I need a beer. He signed the first civil rights bill since Reconstruction.
Eisenhower was such a good president.
Yeah, I think he was. I think if he wasn't president at this time,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be as far as we are with
yeah.
civil rights.
Yeah.
Sadly,
I think so.
because you think of the 50s so backwards, but he really did a lot of this. So,
Mhm.
and then we have a cool birthday. I've got a birthday,
Oh, boy.
and you're going to be mad and happy about this birthday.
Oh, okay.
So two things. Number one,
Mm-hmm.
it's a wrestler is
damn
born.
it.
So kick it, hit the music.
Amy hates birthdays. Amy hates birthdays.
Wrestlers.
But this also is tied to an advertisement. We got an advertisement based on this birthday. So
You gonna play it?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
going to. Well, it's a host read advertisement, so I'm going to read it.
Oh.
So let's first tell you who was born, and then I'll get an advertisement. Born in Rome, Georgia, pro wrestler, American wrestler, and Charlotte native, Charlottean, current Charlottean, Arn Anderson from the
Okay.
Four Horsemen was born.
All right.
And you may ask
I
yourself,
care about this. Why?
because he's one of the Four Horsemen, baby. Arn Anderson. He's the enforcer.
No, I still don't care.
He's a badass. So
I really don't
here's
care.
why you really care, because we have a friend,
Mm-hmm.
a colleague, a friend of ours from college, House of Fun regular, hung out at our college house, who is now an author, and he creates graphic novels, and he's got this new weird niche in graphic novels.
Niche?
Niche. Oh, a niche is something that's niche, but this is a niche, right?
I don't think.
I think you say niche if you have a niche. Can't you say that? I don't know words.
It's starting to
this guy
sound like a
does.
racial slur the more you say it, so we better stop.
Definitely not a racial slur. This guy's name is Dirk Manning, and he is a friend of ours, and he makes graphic novels, and he now writes wrestler biographies as graphic novels. This is his second one. His first was Tony Schiavone's, and now this just got through it's on pre-order. It's called Arn Anderson, My Life as the Enforcer, created by Dirk Manning. It's a graphic novel memoir co-written by Arn Anderson in The Enforcer, co-written by Arn Anderson, detailing his life leading to and then forever changing professional wrestling. He was a big deal. So there was a Kickstarter campaign, and it was successful, and it is now on sale, and you can buy it, and there's a link to wherever you're listening to this podcast. Look in the description, and you can click that link. So you can now pre-order Dirk Manning's book, which is co-written by Arn Anderson, The Enforcer, detailing his life, leading to and then forever changing professional wrestling. See, this kind of thing is for me because I love biographies, I love wrestling, and I like graphic novels. I hate just reading a book because something about the words on the page make me fall asleep. I'll listen to a book all day long in my car. I'll listen to a whole book cover to cover.
See, I don't have the attention span to listen to something real long. Like, because my ADD, it's like I tune it out too much.
See, I have a different form of ADD. I can't sit and read a book, but I can listen to it all day long while I'm writing. So anyway, but this is even better because I can look at comic books, and there are really cool drawings of Arn Anderson. Does it say who?
Hopefully,
I don't know if it says who drew the pictures, because Dirk Manning is awesome. He's a friend of ours. We went to college with him. We knew him as Dark Man because the guy wore all black all the time with a black hat backwards. He was kind of like a mix between Jay and Silent Bob, but in all black, but way smarter than everybody. I don't think he really smoked at all, but he was just a cool, smart dude that hung out with us, and we all call him Dark Man, and that's where I think he got the name Dirk Manning.
Yeah,
Dirk Manning. Anyway, he's a great guy. I'm so excited that he does this. He's got a bunch of graphic novels that you can purchase online too. So I would say don't just stick with it. He's got horror graphic novels. He's got a whole horror genre of stuff that he writes that are really cool. And they're just really well done, and he's a genius. And Arn Anderson is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and I'm jealous that he gets to work with Arn Anderson. He met Tony Schiavone. I bumped into Tony Schiavone at a podcast festival once, and I said, hey, you worked with my friend. He's like, who's your friend? I was like, Dirk Manning. He's a buddy of mine. He goes, oh, he is? Oh, my God, what's your name? And they talked to me.
Oh,
so
nice.
Dirk Manning gave me street cred with wrestlers at a podcast festival. Anyway, so check out Arn Anderson, My Life as the Enforcer. The link will be in our show description. But you can go to Arn Anderson, My Life as the Enforcer, backerkit.com to get your pre-order. But again, the link will be in the description. And thanks, Dirk Manning, for supporting American Timelines.
Yep.
And thanks, Arn Anderson, for being born in 1957, which gave us the segue to bring this up.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, how about that? Arn Anderson was born right here in 1957 in our timeline. He lives in Charlotte. I think I've seen him around town. And so there you go.
Swing.
Check out that book, man. September 21st, 1957. Moving on.
Yeah.
The Perry Mason TV series based on the character by author Earl Stanley Gardner, starring Raymond Burr, premieres on CBS TV. Did you know that was based on a book, Perry Mason?
I did not know that.
Did you know that our old dog Floyd, his original name was Perry Mason?
I did know that.
That's stupid.
A stupid name for a dog.
No offense to Tina Teague, who named him.
Offense to her. Actually.
Okay, offense to her. You should never name a dog Perry
No,
Mason.
because you shouldn't give your dog away because your boyfriend doesn't like dogs. Your dog came first.
Boom. Hopefully she doesn't hear this.
She's not listening.
Yeah, she's not listening to this. Anyway, September 23rd, 1957. We're going to jump right there to a new number one song in the U.S. I know we haven't been talking about these, but this is a big one by Buddy Holly and the Crickets. You want to guess what song?
Oh, God. Peggy Sue?
Nope. That'll Be the Day.
Oh, then you say goodbye. Yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. I know that one.
That'll be the day.
Say you're gonna leave. I know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die.
See, you can sing anything.
No,
I think you could. You could make that. You could take that and redo it right now,
No.
and it would be a number one hit.
No, that was.
It'd be number one hit on
All right, moving on.
Billboard chart. Baby.
Moving on.
All right, that same day That'll Be the Day by Buddy Holly and the Crickets reached number one in the U.S., President Dwight D. Eisenhower orders U.S. troops to support integration of 9 black students at Little Rock Central High School in Arkansas. So he sent troops to counterbalance the guard to say, no, those kids are going, and you're going to fucking protect those motherfucking kids.
Good.
Motherfucker.
Eisenhower's
You're
awesome.
going to stop those motherfucking people from motherfucking stopping stuff. And this was 16 days after the Little Rock incident. A federal judge ordered the National Guard removed, and once again on September 23rd, the Little Rock Nine attempted to enter the school. Though escorted by Little Rock police into a side door, another angry crowd gathered and tried to rush into Central High. Fearing for the lives of the 9 students, school officials sent the teens home. They did, however, manage to attend class for about 3 hours that day. God. And that's why Eisenhower sent U.S. troops
Yeah.
after that happened. September 24th, 1957, Jailhouse Rock was released by Elvis.
That was a classic.
Became the Billboard Song of the Year. September 25th, 300 U.S. Army troops guard 9 black children to Central High School in Arkansas. The troops arrived, and 300 of them helped the kids go. And that was... it was following... Eisenhower did this following a plea from Little Rock's mayor, Woodrow Mann. And he sent those U.S. troops to the scene to help, personally guarded by soldiers from the National Guard soldiers and the Army's 101st Airborne. 101st Airborne, yes. The Little Rock Nine began regular class attendance at Central High. And isn't that fucking sad? That
Yes.
They had to have the Army help them go to fucking school.
That the National Guard was even against.
Because of bigoted idiots.
I know.
Scum of the earth. And that's what it's like, the ones who are fighting everything today. It's like, you're going to be those
people.
That's who you are.
It's the same thing.
It's the same
All the
shit.
MAGA. It's all
that's
those.
MAGA.
Those
that's
are
who you are, MAGA.
Yeah.
That's what they want. That's great again to them.
Yeah. That I just picture that picture of that white lady screaming behind that black teenage girl. You know that picture I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like that. I
horrible,
picture
awful
that
woman. Yeah. Her and that bitch that got Emmett Till killed.
Yep.
Those two fucking faces of awful. That's who that's MAGA. Okay.
Absolutely.
October 1st, 1957. The first appearance of In God We Trust on U.S. paper currency.
Oh, yep. See, people think it always was there.
Nope, it wasn't until 57 that they added that shit.
I wonder why.
So people saying, oh, they founded everything on
or-
God. You know, it wasn't founded. It was founded on
No,
separation of church
they
and
added
state.
all that shit in
God
the
was
50s.
later. In the 50s, all this crazy scare and racism, those are the people that added this, I think.
I don't know. I can see both ways. I mean, I think it's because it's on top. It's on police cars and stuff too.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
I think
it's
I'd be
just
okay
like-
with it if it wasn't just like, if it didn't specifically mean one particular God.
Christian,
But
yeah.
What about people that believe in multiple gods? Is that
Right.
okay, or a different type of God, or I don't.
Or no God.
I'm very dumb about religion because I think
Yeah.
it's all crap. So I don't really know
Mythos.
which is which. Yeah, it's
Mythos.
It's myth. The word myth is in it. It's all myth. Maybe it is. Maybe God is real, and I'm just a dumbass. But and that's fine. Nobody's listening to me. Like nobody's taking me as gospel. I'm some jackass making a podcast. Okay, October 2nd, 1957. The Bridge on the River Kwai,
Yes.
directed by David Lean and starring William Holden and Alec Guinness, is released.
I've never seen that. Did you?
Yeah, it became the Academy Awards Best Picture of 1958. Yeah, I'm in my watching of all the Best
Oscars.
Pictures,
Yeah.
and I've watched that one.
Was it good?
Boring as hell to me,
Yeah.
but it's also not 1958 anymore. So
Yeah.
we've had so many other things since. So I didn't care for it, but I don't think I'm their target audience.
Right. Right.
I don't think a 45-year-old in 2022 is their target audience. But it was an epic war film. I'm not a big war film guy either. It's an epic war film directed by David Lean based on the 1952 novel written by Pierre Bouillet. Although the film uses the historical setting of the construction of the Burma Railway in 1942 to 1943, the plot and characters of Bouillet's novel, I don't know if that's how I say Bouillet. It's Boulle. Is that Bouillet?
Bouillet.
Bouillet.
That's what I would say.
And the screenplay are most entirely fictional. The cast includes William Holden, Alec Guinness, Jack Hawkins, and Sesu Hayakawa.
Definitely nailed that one.
Yeah. Screw you. Yep, it is now widely recognized as one of the greatest films ever made. It was the highest grossing film of 57 and receives overwhelmingly positive reviews from critics. I don't remember much of it. I think I slept through most of it. It was so boring to me, but
All right. Well, let's move on.
I'm sorry I'm bored by that. That's
Yeah.
one of the best movies I ever made, and it puts me to sleep. October 2nd, 1957, the New York Yankees appear in their 25th Baseball World Series.
Yes.
They beat the Milwaukee Braves 3-1 in Game 1 at Yankee Stadium. They ended up losing the series 4-3, though.
Yeah.
And October 3rd, 1957, Allen Ginsberg's Howl and Other Poems is ruled not obscene.
I've never read that.
Remember, we talked about it a couple of times. Like,
Yeah.
had some controversy. I started reading it just to see if I thought it was obscene. There's some sex in it. I think that's why they. And
Sex.
I think there might be some homosexual sex too. I think that's might be why everybody was upset. 'Cause in the 50s,
In the 50s, yeah.
I think. Don't quote me on that because I have a shitty memory. I drink a lot of cold beers, delicious cold beers. And then October 4th, 1957, the Soviet Union launches Sputnik 1, the
Yes.
first artificial Earth
The
satellite.
space race begins.
Yep, first satellite into elliptical low Earth orbit. It's their first official satellite.
A little space race begins.
It sent a radio signal back to Earth for 3 weeks before its 3 silver zinc batteries ran out.
Oh, wait.
So 3 weeks to put up in
Yeah.
space for 3 weeks. And it continued in orbit for 3 months until aerodynamic drag caused it to fall back into the atmosphere on January 4th of 1958.
Mm.
Do you want to know anything more about this satellite? Like, do you want to know the details of, like, what it looked like? And
No.
anything else?
Not really.
Tracking it and
Not really.
Sputnik. But the ionosphere, do you want to, like, go into the
No,
deep
I
things
definitely
about the
don't wanna-
ionosphere and how it works?
I definitely don't want to do
How
that.
orbiting Earth works? Like, I don't get
it.
I don't either. I'm not smart enough to get it. And then, okay, on October 4th, 1957, that same day,
Yeah.
the TV sitcom Leave It to Beaver debuted on CBS.
I used to watch that all the time.
You did?
Yeah.
Original titles included Latch It to Snatch, Puff It for Muff, or Serve It to Furburger.
Stop it. That is such a bunch of
But they
lies.
went with Leave It to Beaver.
You are ridiculous.
Serve It to Furburger. No, Larry, we're going with Leave It to Beaver. Oh, come on. I already got my Serve It to Furburger T-shirt made.
Oh my God.
That same day on October 4th was another birthday, and this one's not tied to an ad, but
Is it a wrestler?
Nope.
Okay, good.
But this guy was born in the Hollis neighborhood of New York City's Queensboro on October 4th, 1957. His father was a public school administrator, and his mother was a park administrator for the New York City Parks and Rec Department. His brothers are painter Daniel Simmons Jr. and Joseph Simmons, better known as Rev Run
Oh, yeah.
of Run DMC. So who are we talking about?
The other Run DMC guy.
No.
D.
No.
MC.
That's Daryl McDaniel. He's not a Simmons.
MC.
No, that's Daryl McDaniel.
Run.
Joseph Simmons is DJ Run, who's his brother. He's not in Run DMC.
Oh, he's not in Run DMC?
No, he formed Def Jam, though. You don't know this? In 1975, after graduating from August Martin High School, notable alumni include Ed Lover and Freedom Williams from... You know who Freedom Williams is? From CNC Music Factory, that guy.
Okay.
Anyway, Simmons briefly attended City College of New York in Harlem, where he met a young DJ B-boy Kurt Walker, a.k.a. Curtis Blow, who influenced him to participate in the hip-hop phenomenon. Upon hearing Eddie Chiba perform in Harlem in 77, Simmons knew that hip-hop would be his career. Simmons stated, hearing Chiba in 77 made me feel like I had just witnessed the invention of the wheel.
Sweet.
Russell Simmons.
Oh, Russell Simmons.
Russell Simmons.
That's right.
Yeah, the creator of Def Jam. Yeah, so there you go.
All right.
Russell Simmons, baby. And then one more birthday, and that's it for the birthdays, okay? Three's, but this one you're going to love. This
Okay.
one's your favorite,
Oh.
okay? Born on October 5th. And in fact, I'm surprised you don't know.
Ryan
but-
Burkett. He was born on October 5th.
Oh, guess who he shares a birthday with? Who
Who?
we're very excited about.
Oh.
Avid listener Ryan Burkett, and beautiful man.
That's true. With
And
a beautiful set of nips.
Beautiful bod, too. Beautiful hairy nips.
Yep.
Oh, my God. He combs them, braids
All
them.
right.
Anyway, October 5th, 1957, American comedian Bernard Jeffrey McCullough was born in Chicago, Illinois.
Who?
Bernard Jeffrey McCullough, born in Chicago, Illinois, the second child of Mary McCullough and Jeffrey Harrison.
Bruce McCullough.
Nope. Bernard Jeffrey McCullough was raised by his single mother and his grandparents on the city's south side. Bernard Jeffrey McCullough began his high school career at Chicago Vocational High School. His mother died in 1973 when he was 16. Shortly after, his older brother and his estranged father both died. He later graduated from Chicago Vocational High School in 1975. Notable alumni include Juwan Howard and Dick Butkus from that school. He married his high school sweetheart, Rhonda Gore. Rhonda Gore.
Oh, Rhonda.
On September 17, 1977. Together they had a daughter, Janice, born in 78. During his 20s and through his early 30s, he worked a variety of jobs, including janitor, coach, professional mover, cook,
Mr.
bus
T.
driver, Wonder Bread, delivery man, furniture mover, and UPS agent. And he smoked cigarettes while peeling oranges, while doing comedy on the weekends at clubs and parties. Bernard Jeffrey
Bernie
Mac.
Mac. Bernie Mac. Oh, I love Bernie Mac.
Yeah. Bernard Mac Cullough. Yeah.
I love Bernie Mac.
And he said his influences were from the Three Stooges and listening to stand-up comedians Richard Pryor and Red Fox.
We should watch that show again.
The Bernie Mac show?
Yeah,
that was funny
as hell.
He's great. He's the best thing about
Bad Santa.
I think.
Yeah, him and John Ritter are the best.
Oh,
things
John
about.
Ritter's great in that too.
Yeah,
that's great. Anyway, Bernie Mac started as a stand-up comedian at Chicago's Cotton Club. After he won the Miller Lite Comedy Search at the age of 32, his popularity as a comedian began to grow. And this is a funny little bit about Bernie Mac. A performance on HBO's Def Comedy Jam thrust him into the spotlight after Martin Lawrence was unable to calm an increasingly hostile crowd. The crowd was going nuts. He couldn't calm them down. They couldn't do any more comedy. Then Mac went on stage and famously said, "I ain't scared of you motherfuckers." Tell the audience that he didn't come here for no foolishness.
That's awesome.
Bernie Mac's the best. I knew you'd like that birthday.
I did enjoy that one.
Okay, October 10th, we're going to burn through these to get to your story.
Okay.
The Baseball World Series, the Braves beat the Yankees 5-0 at Yankee Stadium to clinch 4 games to 3 series victory. MVP was Braves pitcher Lou Burdett. And Brian McCartney's the only one who cares about that. October 10th, U.S. President Eisenhower apologizes. This is awful. October 10th, President Eisenhower had to apologize to the finance minister of Ghana, Komla Agbeli Bidema. I'm not sure if that's how you say that.
I doubt it.
He had to apologize to him after he has refused service in a restaurant in Dover, Delaware. Obviously because he's black. October 14th, Everly Brothers single Wake Up Little Susie reaches #1.
I love that song. Wake up, little Susie, wake up.
I knew you were going to sing it. And then October 20th,
Movie wasn't so hot. It didn't have much of a plot. It's 5 o'clock, our goose is cooked, our reputation is shot. Wake up, little Susie. All right, sorry.
Walter Cronkite begins his weekly documentary.
Yeah.
And then on October 25th, Cosa Nostra crime boss Albert Anastasia is murdered in a barber's chair in New York City.
Yeah.
Probably by fellow mobster Joe Gallo.
Ooh.
Joe Gallo.
I've never been real interested in mob stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the big mob movies. Like Goodfellas is awesome, of course, and
Casino.
The Godfather's a good movie, and
Sopranos.
Those are all good. Yeah, and I love Sopranos. But as far as true crime mob stuff,
let me see if I can get you excited by telling this story.
Okay.
On the morning of October 25th, 1957, Albert Anastasia entered the barbershop of the Park Sheridan Hotel at 56th Street and 7th Avenue in Midtown Manhattan. Anastasia's driver parked the car in an underground garage and then took a walk outside, leaving him unprotected. As Anastasia relaxed in the barber's chair, 2 men with scarves covering their faces rushed in, shoved the barber out of the way, and fired at Anastasia. After the first volley of bullets, Anastasia reportedly lunged at his killers. However, the stunned Anastasia had actually attacked the gunman's reflections in the wall mirror of the barbershop.
What?
Yeah, he thought he was attacking him, but he was so groggy from getting shot, he was attacking the reflections.
Oh, my God.
The gunman continued firing until Anastasia finally fell dead on the floor. That's according to the New York Times. The Anastasia homicide generated a tremendous amount of public interest and sparked a high-profile police investigation. And according to the New York Times journalist and Five Families author Selwyn Rabb, who's written a book about this, the vivid image of a helpless victim swathed in white towels and was stamped in the public memory. That's according to his book in 2005 called The Five Families, The Rise, Decline, and Resurgence of America's Most Powerful Mafia Empires. However, no one was charged in the case.
Oh.
Speculation on who killed Anastasia has centered on Profaci crime family mobster Crazy Joe Gallo, the Patriarcha crime family of Providence, Rhode Island, and certain drug dealers within the Gambino family. Initially, the NYPD concluded that Anastasia's homicide has been arranged by Genovese and Gambino, and that it was carried out by a crew led by Gallo. At one point, Gallo boasted to an associate of his about the hit. You can just call the five of us the barbershop quintet, he said. Elsewhere, Genovese had traditionally strong ties to Patriarcha boss Raymond L.S. Patriarcha. Anyway, I think you're not as excited because these guys deal in crime, so they're criminals themselves.
Yeah, it's not like
it's not like an innocent victim.
injustice.
Like you can't. Yeah, it's not an injustice, and you can't like put yourself in their shoes because you're not doing all this illegal stuff. You get fascinated. I think true crime people get fascinated with the oh my God, it could happen to me.
Yeah.
I can be that victim. I can put my feet in her shoes.
That's
or whatever,
right.
You know.
Yeah.
Which I guess is the thrill of it, whatever. But
I don't know.
You like to be scared, and that brings us to October 31st, 1950.
That is my date of birth. I got to the party and I did the Smurf.
You know what the Smurf is?
No.
You do the Smurf?
No.
I think it's where you do like this kind of a thing.
Oh God, don't do that.
I think that's kind of the Smurf.
It is. It looked like you were having a stroke.
Well, I'm sitting in a. I'm not.
You look like Elaine Bennis dancing.
It kind of does. Like.
Oh, it does. I would look like an idiot doing that dance.
Yeah, you can't do the Smurf.
No.
I can do the Smurf, but you can't. Just kidding. I can't either. Okay. And
All
now
right.
I'm ready to listen to your story. Tell me.
I'm going to tell the sordid tale of the murder of Los Angeles hairstylist Peter Fabiano.
Oh, is this one you've been so excited about?
No,
talking about?
that one is going to be next time.
And it's going to be. It's
gonna
more
be-
exciting than this one.
It's going to be perhaps, dare I say, the best one that I've ever had to cover.
Really?
Next time. This time though is pretty good. This
Okay.
time is pretty good. All right,
This
so
one's going to be great.
we're Halloween night, right?
Let me just check my email. real
Stop
quick.
it.
Sorry. Just kidding.
All right.
Halloween night
My
of
my
1957.
main sources were one was a website called the Vintage Woman Magazine, which is now my new favorite website because
The Vintage Woman magazine. That is for you.
I know it.
Is it about true crime and dressing vintage?
It's about all things vintage. So there's
So crime.
crime
counts?
is in there, and then the truecrimeedition.com was the other one.
Crimeedition.com. Okay.
All right. So we're Halloween night, 1957. 11 o'clock that night.
Yep. So after all, most of the trick or treating is done.
That's correct. Peter Fabiano was at home with his wife,
okay.
Betty, and they were already in bed.
Oh.
And they hear the ding dong of the doorbell.
Ding dong.
The ding dong, ding dong. And so he gets up and he's thinking, oh, well, this is late for fucking trick or treating.
There's no more goddamn candy
But he
left.
grabs he's got some.
Oh,
So
he
he's
does.
like, all right, well, fuck. So he grabs the bowl and he goes to the door and
Oh
he
my gosh.
opens the door.
Yeah.
And the trick-or-treater, shall we say, who was there, was
don't know.
taller than most of the previous revelers and he had an odd appearance,
Okay.
even by Halloween standards. It was reported that he had a grotesque, garishly painted face with a domino mask and men's clothing, blue jeans, a khaki jacket, and red gloves.
Say a domino mask.
Yeah, with a domino mask.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Holding up a paper bag that concealed a gun, the disguised stranger answered the homeowner's query in a deceptively deep voice.
Oh, a domino mask is what they call.
Oh, it's like a
like the
Lone
Lone
Ranger
type
mask.
mask. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting to know. All right.
So back up a little bit to the domino mask because
So,
domino mask.
so he's dressed like men's clothes,
Yep.
holding up a paper bag. Inside it is a gun. The homeowner says, no, in a deep voice. And then,
The homeowner said that.
not the homeowner, the guy.
The person.
The guy who's there at the door in the mask.
Yes.
And then a few minutes later, Betty hears a loud pop. And then it wakes her up and her daughter Judy up.
Oh, Judy's the daughter.
So she runs to the front door and she finds Peter shot, bleeding
no.
out in this pool of his own blood.
Ugh.
So she's got a neighbor who's a cop. So she
Okay.
runs over there and they call the Valley Police Department.
Okay.
So then they take him to Sun Valley Hospital where he's pronounced dead from the gunshot in his chest.
Oh my gosh! But they don't see the intruder anymore.
Right. So the only witness to the shooting was a teenager who saw a car speeding away from the neighborhood.
Really?
There were no gun shells left at the scene, and nothing had been taken from the house, despite the family owning 2 successful hair and beauty shops.
Oh, you would think if you were knocking on the door of the owners of a successful hair and beauty shop and you're going to shoot them, that your motive would be robbery.
You would think. So the shooting had the characteristics of a gang hit, but the only record the hairstylist had was for a charge of bookmaking in 1948, and I don't know what that bookmaking would be. It's probably something with like cooking the books.
The only motive that they had was
No, the only
bookmaking?
record. He had a record, but it was for bookmaking.
Bookmakers make money by charging a fee on their customers' bets.
Oh,
not,
okay.
Not placing wagers themselves.
Yeah, okay. So they're just handling bets and charging a fee.
Yeah.
So that's not a big deal. So he had no connection to any crime syndicate, and so that lead went away. So let's kind of go back a little bit. Peter and Betty
Right.
met in the 40s.
Yeah.
Betty was already divorced from her first husband and was a single mother of 2.
Aw.
They began their marriage in New York and had moved to Los Angeles the year before Peter's death.
Okay.
So when Betty told police her account of Halloween night, she explained that she thought there were 2 people at the front door, two men with one pretending to be a woman. And then when asked if Peter had any enemies, she gave them one name, Joan Rabble.
Okay. Did she say why she thought there was 2 people? She just what she heard?
I think she heard voices.
Really? Joan Rabble?
Joan Rabble. Joan Rabble was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1917. She had a lucrative career as a writer and a photographer sailing around the Americas.
Ooh.
In 1957, she gets to Peter Fabiano's salon. She wants some work after her divorce.
Okay, so she was wanting them to hire her as a stylist of some sort.
And so, well, they hire her on as like the desk girl or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So
Desk woman. please.
Joan and Betty become really good friends.
Betty Fabiano.
Yes.
Okay.
And Joan was welcomed into the Fabiano family. It
Oh.
was like she was family.
She was like a family friend.
So then Peter and Betty started having marriage problems.
Uh-oh.
And when that happened, Betty moved in with Joan while that was going
Betty
on.
moved in with Joan.
So Peter started getting threatened by how close these 2 women were.
Oh, he didn't like it.
And in the newspapers of the time, they described the relationship as quote unquote abnormal,
Oh, really?
which is code for gay. So
Yeah, because you're not allowed to
Right.
be a lesbian in this day and age.
So that is what I think is
So that's why Betty's saying that Joan might have a motive.
right. So then Betty eventually decides that her marriage to Peter's worth saving,
Okay.
and she tells Peter about the affair she's been having with Joan.
Oh, okay.
The couple then get back together, and Betty agrees she won't see Joan anymore. So that same year that all that's going on, right?
On some level, Peter's probably like, awesome.
No, stop.
No,
So
you don't think?
that same year,
Yeah.
1957, maybe he is. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Who knows? We'll never know.
We'll never know because
The
he's
problem
dead.
is we'll never know what he's into.
That's right.
But don't kink shame him. Some
Of course
people
not.
are into that.
Of course not. So while that's all going on, that same year,
Don't kink shame me.
all right, listen.
Sorry. Okay. Back
Joan.
to the story. Joan.
Had met this woman named Goldine Pizer, who was a medical secretary.
Wait. Goldine Pizer?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Joan. Okay. When did Joan meet Goldine Pizer?
The same year, I'm
okay.
telling you.
Okay. But before his death.
Right. The same year that all that was going on.
Okay.
Yes, before his death.
Now you have to tell me how to spell Goldine Pizer because I got to put it in the tags.
Gold, like gold,
Yeah.
YNE.
Oh, Y-N-E. So
And
might-
then Pizer is just
So it
Pizer.
might be Goldine Pizer.
I think it's Goldine.
Okay. I believe you. Goldine Pizer. That's a great name.
I know it. So Joan and Goldine become fast friends.
Goldine Pizer?
And they spend their free time together talking and gossiping.
Joan and Goldine do.
Joan and Goldine do.
But does Goldine doesn't work at the salon?
No.
Right? She's just a friend.
She's just a medical secretary.
Oh, okay.
So then it's reported that Goldine was also gay and had
Okay.
spent her life suppressing her feelings and had married Herbert Crome, a naval pharmacist who
Herbert
she had
Crome?
recently divorced.
These are the best names ever. Herbert Crome.
All right, so it was during these coffee mornings with Joan and Goldine together, sitting there having coffee, bullshitting,
Yeah.
that Joan started telling Goldine how evil Peter Fabiano was. And Joan said that she told Goldine that she was heartbroken and she was so angry that Betty went back to Peter, and she wanted revenge on him.
Okay.
So Joan began to seduce Goldine as she had Betty, and eventually convinced Goldine to kill Peter for her.
Oh, wow.
So Goldine
Wow.
had
So
said,
Goldine's a victim in this, but
Yeah,
also a potentially murderer.
she says Goldine was quoted as saying, "I had no motive personally. Whatever motive I had was to please Joan. I was always easily influenced. I have been impressionable and always trusting."
Wow.
So Goldine bought a .38 Smith & Wesson from a shop in Pasadena under the guise of wanting the weapon for personal protection.
Wow.
So then she waited outside Fabiano's home on Halloween night in a car Joan borrowed from a friend.
Okay.
They waited until all the lights in the house went out. Then Goldine approached the home in a superhero eye mask and committed the murder.
So does the person that Joan borrowed the car, Joan borrowed the car, gave it to Goldine to go do this.
Right.
Does the person that Joan borrowed the car become an accomplice then? Mystery
Probably
crime?
not back then, but now there is something called felony murder, and that basically says that even if somebody, if you lent somebody your car and then they go and
Murder somebody.
you can be charged with murder.
Really?
Yes.
Even if I don't know that they're going to go
Yes.
plan on murdering you?
Yes.
So
And there's
lesson,
not all states have that law, though. Florida's a notorious one.
So lesson is they do have that law or they don't?
They do.
So lesson is don't let anybody borrow your car for anything.
Well, and it could be anything. If you had a gun and you lent somebody your gun, or if
Well,
you
I
were,
don't have a gun.
God, there was. Now I can't
Are
remember.
you saying like if our son says, "Hey, can I borrow the car? I'm
And then he
going on
goes-
a date and going bowling with my lady." I'm like, "Yeah, you can borrow the car. Here's the keys, son." And it's not his car, but he's borrowing my car. And then he goes,
He commits a murder?
he gets in an altercation with somebody at the bowling alley, Teen Wolf style, and like throws a bowling ball at them
Yeah.
and kills them. I can be accomplice because he drove there in my car,
Maybe.
or does he have to be in the car and commit the murder at the time?
I don't know. I'm not sure. All right. So Goldine disposed of the gun in a storage locker in a Los Angeles branch of Bullock department store.
Okay.
And an anonymous tip led detectives to the weapon and in turn to Goldine Pizer's door 2 weeks later. She was arrested in her Hollywood home where she told the police, "It's a relief to get it off my mind."
An anonymous tip turned her in, huh?
Joan was eventually arrested, and the two women went through several examinations with psychiatrists as the court believed that homosexuality may have made them unfit to stand trial. Can you believe that?
You're not thinking straight because you're
Because you're gay.
gay. Jeez.
One of the psychiatrists wrote about Goldine. The only thought she had was that she had saved her friend Joan Rabble from an evil person. Both women pleaded not guilty, but eventually changed their plea. Pizer pleaded insanity and claimed she was just easily influenced.
Yeah.
Joan refused to comment throughout the hearing, so she just didn't say anything.
Why do?
And she just sat there with this weird smile on her face during
That's
the whole
insanity.
trial.
That's insanity, don't you think?
Yes.
A weird smile like that, and I have I guess I don't understand the insanity plea in general, because wouldn't you have to be insane to kill someone? Like, just everyone's insane. Like,
No,
anybody
because
killing someone, you're insane.
The legal definition of insanity is that you didn't know what you were doing was wrong at the time of your actions.
You were in such an agitated state.
You didn't know what
that
you were
could
doing
not see
was
right from
wrong. You didn't make any moves to cover it up, afterwards because that
Okay.
would show that you knew what you had done was wrong.
Oh, that's like malicious intent.
Right,
or whatever.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but generally, you'd have to be insane to even do all that malicious intent.
Well,
like,
some people have anger issues that like
which is
rage.
insanity. That's insanity,
Yeah.
right?
All right.
Isn't that insanity?
I don't know.
Okay.
So they were both eventually charged with second-degree murder and were
Okay.
sentenced to 5 years to life.
5 years to life. That's
So
weird.
yeah, Goldine Pizer was released and stayed in Los Angeles. She died
Really?
in 1998 when she was 83.
What?
There's-
After killing a man?
Yep. There's little information about Joan Rabel, but it's assumed that she was released from prison around the same time as Goldine.
Wow.
Betty Fabiano sold the beauty businesses. It's unknown if she had a hand in her husband's death.
Wow.
One website without evidence claims that Betty and Joan were lovers and that Betty engineered the murder plot after complaining that Peter was abusive. This is unsubstantiated, as are the allegations of abuse, but it reveals the depth of mystery that lingers around this case. Betty appears to have remarried in 1966, and she passed away in 1999 at the age of 81, which made her 39 at the time of Pete's death, not 36 as most believed her to be.
Poor Goldine Pizer. I think she's
And then
a
this
real
little
victim.
quote at the end said, "No, and Joan? No one knows what happened to Joan. She seems to have disappeared into thin air like a ghost, a badly dressed ghost bent on wreaking Halloween terror."
Man, look at the picture of that.
Because they talked about in that Vintage Women's Magazine,
Yeah.
they talked about how dumpy Joan was all the time and about how drab she was dressed and everything.
Well, I was just looking at there's a picture of them both.
Yeah.
I think that's probably Betty.
Betty.
Betty's kind of pretty,
Yeah.
and Goldine's kind of cute.
Yeah. But
But
Joan is
doesn't-
not
is
attractive.
not super hot, but
Joan is
But Goldine,
kind
I
of-
was picturing Goldine as being kind of like I don't know, an older lady with rollers in her hair or whatever. I don't know why, but she's kind of cute. I mean, as I can tell from this grainy newspaper picture, but
Right.
poor thing.
So that's
I
the
feel
story
bad for
of
Goldine.
Peter Fabiano's
She had to go to
Halloween
jail.
murder.
What do you think a woman's jail would be like in 57?
In the 50s? Probably not that bad. Although there's
all
probably
of
a
my
bunch
women's
of
prison knowledge comes
racists in there, though.
from. Yeah, probably. All my,
That'd be dangerous as hell.
all my women's prison knowledge comes from Orange is the New Black.
I know, me too.
So I don't know if that's accurate at all.
I don't think it is. Probably not.
It was in the 50s. Who knows? There might be.
But until they broke my heart,
But
and
they
I
don't-
stopped watching because they broke my heart when they murdered. What was her name?
Who do they murder?
Remember
I
the
don't remember anything. I know that, but do they
the
separate
one that
by
the
race?
the gay one with the short hair and she couldn't breathe and they were leaned on her and they killed her.
I don't
She
remember
was
that.
she was the girlfriend of
Oh, the guards killed her?
yes. They leaned on her and she couldn't breathe and she was like, I can't breathe until they killed her. It was so
I don't
horrible
remember- I don't
to
remember
watch.
that.
And
I
that
don't
was
remember
before George Floyd.
I don't even remember that.
So
But I don't remember much. I don't remember anything, man. My memory's getting worse and worse. I don't know how much longer I'll be around, everybody. Sorry.
mine is really bad too.
Like, I'm going to be in a...
We're going to
senior
both
home.
be blithering idiots.
Yeah.
Our
We're
poor
on our
kids.
way.
All right.
Like, there's stuff...
What?
Yeah, I have conversations. A week later, I don't remember it.
I'm the same way.
Really?
Yes. It's getting old, I think, maybe.
We're getting old. We should probably do some memory exercises.
I don't think those work. I read somewhere that it's a bunch of
It's
bullshit.
all bullshit.
Yeah. Like it's good to think critically and do that kind of thing, but those things that are like brain games and those somewhere I read something that said those are
I feel like since the
not real.
pandemic, I've been even more spacey.
Me
I think
too.
that's something. So anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. We apologize.
There's our
for-
medical issues. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, we have a lot of issues. We'll both be dead soon. Thanks for listening. Rate and review, subscribe. Send us lots of cash. What's your cash app?
Stop. Time to get out of here, Chuck Berry.
All right, we love you. Thanks for listening.
The
Matt Truman Ego Trip is the greatest band of all time. Buy their music.